Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to replace the transmission fluid and filters on a AZ Suzuki Swift. So that's 2017 to 2024. It's going to be a very detailed video. I'm going to show you what tools you need, all the steps in doing it, what parts you need, and what kind of fluid you need, and also all the torque specifications. Alright guys, so first step is we need to warm up the transmission fluid. It needs to be about 40 degrees. Usually you use the OBD2 scan tool to do this, but unfortunately this car doesn't have a sensor for the automatic transmission fluid, so I'm unable to see it on the OBD2 scanner. But what we can do is just drive the car around for about 15 minutes and that should be warm enough. Alrighty, let's warm up the car. So the Suzuki Swift has a JATCO CVT transmission. So CVT stands for constantly variable transmission. Basically it only has one gear and it constantly changes its gear ratio. It's really good for fuel efficiency and very easy and cheap to make. Now the model number of this transmission is a JATCO CVT7 JF015E, and this transmission is found in a lot of other cars. So Mitsubishi Mirage, a lot of Nissans as well, and they have a bad reputation of breaking down prematurely. But in these Suzukis, they've been pretty reliable. They're not too bad, and it's more so just the fact that this transmission was more designed for small, light economy cars. But as soon as you start putting it into these bigger cars that have more torque, or even just making a car a lot heavier, these transmissions tend to struggle and then fail prematurely. But anyways, we're gonna go inside and go to the garage. Alright guys, we're here in the garage now, and this is everything you need for the CVT service. Okay, so you need a 19mm, 10mm, a small torque wrench for your oil pan bolts, a screwdriver to undo some trim, bar for your wheel in case. You might also need some additional trim removal tools. You'll need a measuring jug, and you'll need a way to lift up the car. So I got a jack and jack stand, so I'm also going to use my car ramps. You'll need a oil pan, preferably one that has the measuring indicators that have it here. You'll need a funnel, and then in terms of all the parts you'll need, or materials, you'll need CVT fluid. So the one you should be using is Suzuki CVT Green 2. Use the Penrite CVT fluid low viscosity. You can also get genuine fluid from the dealership or Nissan NS3 as well. You also need your transmission filter kit. So this is from CVT New Zealand. Shout out to them. They do a whole package that just covers your Suzuki essentially. So we got the internal oil filter, the external filter, 2 for the external oil filter housing, and 2 oil pan gaskets. This transmission comes with like 2 of the oil pan gaskets, so they've just sent me 2. So there's no chance of it getting wrong. Need some lubricant possibly for your bolts in case they're seized or anything like that. You'll need brake and parts cleaner. Got some instructions over there. A cleaning brush to get rid of debris, and another cleaning brush in case the oil pan needs some additional cleaning. We also got some shock towels here. And for PPE, you just need some gloves and eye protection. And that is about it. It's everything you need for the service. Alright, so let's lift up the car and get started. Okay, so first here, I'm just loosening the bolts of the front wheel, just so it's easier to take off once the wheel is raised off the ground. Alright guys, so underneath the car now, and we just need to take the plate off. So it's just 6 10mm bolts, just all around it. Okay, car now, and here's the transmission. There's the drain plug over there. So I'm gonna have to take this plate off here too. So I'll work on getting this off. Alright, got a flathead and a Phillips head, and also a trim removal tool. So let's get started. Oh. Come on. Yep, there we go. Now it's just the ones at the top. So, and now just these two here. There we go. It's off. So that's off now, and here is the oil filter here. Put the oil pan in, ready to go. I've got my 19mm. Yep. Okay. There we go. Definitely not green. The original fluid should be green. But yeah, we'll wait for that to drain out, and then we'll start undoing the drain bolts. Also, this doesn't even come with a washer, funny enough, but I'm gonna put a washer on it when it reinstall it. Oop, it's starting to drip down too. Okay, so one more note about the drain bolt. In other models, it has a overflow tube that goes in, but I can confirm that the Suzuki Swift does not have an overflow tube in it. So it's only this, and then the pan comes off. Alright, so we'll start taking off the oil pan now. So it's just going to be all these 10mm bolts around here. Just undo that, and then there'll be more oil in the pan as well, so just be careful when you take it off. So I'm just going to undo them all, just crack them open. I'll get my driver to do the rest. As the oil pan, I was just undoing all of them slowly so the oil pan can start dropping, and then here you can see there's still more fluid in there and it's just draining. Okay, it's empty now, so I'm just going to undo all the bolts now. That's the last one. Alright, pan's coming off now. Pouring the rest in. Okay, we'll put the pan to the side for now. And now we're going to undo the oil strainer as well. So this one is, you got 3 bolts, one here, here, here. So very straightforward, just undo those 2. Okay, I'm going to keep these 3 bolts in a separate location. And then just to remove it, we just got to pull down on it. And also make sure you don't catch any fluid that comes out with it. Now, as we pull it out, we want to make sure we get the O-ring with it. You can see I haven't actually got the O-ring here, so the O-ring must still be up there somewhere. So I'm going to try and just fish it out. Okay, so I actually dropped the O-ring into the oil drain pan, but if you don't see your O-ring, it's either in the drain pan already or it's still stuck up there, so you might need to find it. Alright, so now we're going to clean the oil pan. I've just got these magnets in here, just pull them out. So we'll clean those up. And then paper towel. Oh my god, look at the paper towel now. It is disgusting. Alright, now I'm going to clean the oil pan. Spray cleaner. So one thing you want to make sure that is properly clean is the where pan gasket sits. Make sure there's nothing on there. And even lint as well. Make sure there's none of that on there, because you don't want it to start leaking from there. And this is where I'll use my nylon brush. Make sure there's no like leftovers from the paper towels or anything like that. The magnets back in now. Yeah, the magnets. Alright, so the oil pan's all clean now. See that? And the magnets are clean and put in the correct position. So pretty straightforward, just like that. Now I'm going to put the oil pan gasket on. So here the bolts are matching up, and then here it doesn't match up. So it's not going to be this one, it's going to be this one. Okay, so the gasket's on there. Now I'm going to install the new internal oil filter, and then we'll clean it up and put the oil pan back on. Okay, set up the new oil filter right here. I've got the O-ring here. So just gonna put this on. Just gonna get a little bit of transmission fluid. Just lube it up a little bit. So yep, just lubed up the O-ring on here. And now we'll just install it back here. There you go. Alright. Now we'll get those 3 bolts and put it back in. So here you go, fluid strainer installation. It should be butt tight to the valve body. Install the fluid strainer and then tighten the mounting bolts to the specified torque of 7.9 Newton meters or 70 inch-pounds. There we go, and that's done. So now I'm just going to wipe the area and then we'll put the oil pan on. Now mine's relatively clean because I only have 67,000 miles on it, but you know, doing this in the future where you got a lot of miles on or you got salted roads, then this might be a lot more dirtier. Okay, that's really clean now. Okay, now I can get all my bolts. Okay, so I've got 4 in, and then here on my manual it shows my oil pan installation, and then there's a, sorry, trying to get you guys, way to torque them. So I'm just going to follow that. Okay guys, so this diagram here is just for reference. You know how we had 2 different types of gaskets? I think this one is for a Mitsubishi Mirage and our one is different. So it's just for reference. It's just to get the idea of how the pattern is. So basically you do side to side and then you do that top half and then you do the bottom half. All right, sweet. Alrighty, they're on there. Now I just need to torque them down, okay? Now the torque specs of all the drain bolts is 5.9 Newton meters. Okay, so I'll start up and do those. Alrighty, I'm just gonna have a look around, make sure nothing doesn't look out of the ordinary, and now we just need to put the drain plug bolt in. Okay, here it is with the new washer. I don't know why it didn't come with the washer. Maybe it's because Suzuki doesn't expect anyone to have a look and change the fluid, I guess. But yeah, that's in. And then this one has a torque spec as well of 35 Newton meters, so I'll go get my other torque wrench to do that one. Perfect, and that's it guys. Everything's done with the oil pan and the internal filter. Now we need to do the external filter, which is this guy right here. We just have the 10mm bolt, and then we got to twist it anti-clockwise, and then we can take out the filter. Once you take out the filter, we'll replace the O-ring and the external filter as well. Alright guys, sorry. I didn't record the part, but basically. Okay, so the filter sets in there. The filter sits in like that, you can see. So what you have to do is undo that bolt. Once it's undone, you have to spin it anti-clockwise so it's free, and then you can pull it out. And it comes out like that. Oil's gonna come out as well. And then you can just pull this paper filter out. More oil will come out. And then, yeah, that's it there. I'm just gonna clean this up a bit, spray some brake cleaner on it, and then we'll put the new filter in. Alright, here's the new oil filter and the O-ring. Now for this one, we just stick it in. So just gonna put some fluid on it. And we'll stick it on. Okay, so that's all clean. Just need to remove the old O-ring here. Still feels like soft, so it's not too bad. That's good. The new O-ring, so the kit came with 2, so that's good. They're exactly the same, so I guess one's just a spare. And then we need to just put a bit of oil on this one too. Alright, so now we're just installing it. Just push it in. Make sure it goes in nicely. Make sure there's not too much resistance on it. There we go. So it's just pushed in. Now we need to twist it and align the hole, and that's it. Easy as, guys. We'll get the bolt back in. Make sure when we're putting the bolt back in, there's not like too much resistance. If there's resistance, then that means it's not aligned properly. So it should go in pretty easily by hand first. Okay, got my torque wrench again. 7 Nm or 62 inch-pounds. Alrighty, that's it, guys. Okay, so now everything is installed. We're gonna measure out how much fluid we took out, and we're gonna put the same amount of fluid back in. Alright, so this is going to be like, it's not going to be exact because I spilled a bit here and there, but it's going to give us a close estimate. We'll start off with putting that back in, and then we'll put the car back together, put it on a flat surface and measure it with the dipstick. Okay, so 3.5 litres, so now I'm going to put 3.5 litres back into the transmission. So one thing to note is I'm not on a flat surface, it's kind of going down like that, but I've tried to level it, and then so essentially it's just kind of tilted up because the back is not lifted, and unfortunately I didn't have a flat surface to do this properly. So if you do this on a flat surface, and it might actually pour out more fluid, so just be aware of that. That's why I've got 2 bottles, 8 litres in total, just in case. But it looks like I'm just going to use one for now. But yeah, the capacity of this transmission is about, I think, 6 litres or 5.7 litres or something like that. So yeah, you might potentially have more. But then also, there's a lot of fluid that's in the torque converter that doesn't come out. So that's all. Anyways, got the bonnet up. This is the dipstick on the Suzuki Swift. Just put that out and to the side. Alrighty, so look at this. This is the new fluid, nice and green. And yeah, we'll just start pouring it in. Alright, so that's 2 litres done. Now I'm going to get the other 1.5. Alrighty, so that's all done. Take this out, put this back in. So that's the whole process done. I'm just going to put everything back together now, and then we'll turn the car on and we'll go for a short drive to a flat surface and measure the fluid level. Alright, so we're going to start the car. check the leaks. It's not leaking. Okay, so after checking the owner's manual, basically it says to put it in park, reverse for 3 seconds, neutral for 3 seconds, drive for 3 seconds, L for 3 seconds, and then we'll put it back into park, and now we can measure it. But expecting it to be like at the full like hot temperature just because we haven't driven it enough. I just want to make sure that it's not too low. So we'll get up and check it. So we're going to dip it in and just make sure it's not like, I'm probably expecting it to be around the cold area, but just not below this part basically. So yeah, the engine has to be running while we're doing this and in park. So leave it in for a couple seconds and pull it out. And yep, looks like we're just at the bottom of the hot section. But essentially it's just where I'm pointing my finger, so in the cold section at the bottom. So if I drive this around, it should kind of go up into the hotter range. But yeah, that's a good sign to me. So yeah, that was just to do a quick measurement on the transmission fluid, just so I know I'm not too low and I can go and drive it. So what I can do now is drive around for 5 kilometers and then drive for 10 minutes after that. And then we'll do another measurement and then it should be in that hot range. Shouldn't be too high, shouldn't be too low. But either way, I'm going to go for a drive. Alright guys, going for our first drive. So far it feels pretty good. Alright guys, so we're finished with the drive now. And now we're ready to do another double check. So it is exactly in the middle of the hot and cold mark. Yep, exactly in the middle. So I'm happy to keep it in the middle. I don't want to put too much in it, risk putting too much in it. So there you go. Alright guys, so that's it. That's how you change your CVT fluid on your Suzuki Swift AZ Series 2017 to 2024. Hope you guys liked the video. Hopefully it was helpful and hopefully you guys can do it yourself. It took me about probably 3 hours ish to do this. You could probably do it faster. I had to play around with the cameras and everything. But yeah, if you have a Suzuki Swift like this, make sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be pumping out a lot more videos on this car. Just maintenance, changing light bulbs, oil change and stuff like that. So that's going to come soon. Alright, see you guys, take care.